Hi guys, how you doing? I'm doing okay. I just wanted to talk briefly my response to the tragic double shooting this weekend in El Paso, Texas, and Dayton, Ohio. My heart, my sympathies, my prayers goes out to those communities and the families and friends of the victims. And I've been watching the reports and listening to them and uncovering, covering them and everything. And the one in El Paso was a hate crime that was thought out and planned long before President Trump got into office. So to say that was because of Trump, that is such a reach, you know. But the thing that really bothered me was when Robert Francis O'Rourke stood up and made an erroneous, outrageously false claim about President Trump's comments after Charlottesville. Yes, apparently that ancient news story, that ancient news is brought to the present. I got upset when my family would talk about things that happened a long time ago of bad decisions I made. But for Robert Francis O'Rourke to mention Charlottesville now, like 2 years later, after we've all went through it and everybody got healed, it's still a tragedy, but we moved on. Apparently he hasn't moved on. He is so stuck in 2017 about Charlottesville, and he doesn't even get President Trump's quote correct. I thought that was outrageous. President Trump did not say what Robert Francis O'Rourke was claiming he said. O'Rourke claimed he must be on a parallel Earth somewhere, probably where the Twin Towers are still standing. If you'd like to come back to Earth Prime, Mr. O'Rourke, we would love to have you join our society. But if you're going to have this delusional bite or something, this quote, this outrageously erroneous misquote from the president, go stay in your parallel Earth, Mr. O'Rourke, and don't come to Earth Prime until you're ready. Until you just give up this crazy, just absolutely crazy claim that President Trump specifically identified certain hate groups as being very fine people. I mean, that was just so false. I watched the whole news conference and he did not say that at all. What President Trump said after Charlottesville, if we're going to cover this and we're going to dredge up the past, okay, is President Trump said there were very fine people on both sides and there were very bad people on both sides. That is the correct quote. So, Mr. Robert Francis O'Rourke, if you're going to quote President Trump, quote him correctly, will you please? And when I heard today that President Trump said hate has no place in our country, I was hoping Robert Francis O'Rourke heard that. Did you hear that, Mr. O'Rourke? President Trump said, as he had been saying all along, Hate has no place in our country, and he condemned the far-right extremists at Charlottesville. He said there were people who had permits to be at that rally, and there were people who did not have permits at that rally. So yeah, there were good people on both sides, and there were bad people on both sides. Okay, just like if you have an up, you have to have a down. If you have a left, you have to have a right. If you have a front, you got to have a back. If you got a here, you got to have a there. Okay, you got good, you also got bad. And there were good people and there were bad people on both sides. And that is what happened in Charlottesville. Now, when Robert Francis O'Rourke understands this, okay, and believes it in his heart that the president did not say what he claimed he said, then you're welcome back here to Earth Prime. But until then, stay on your parallel Earth until you are ready. Because apparently right now you're not ready. Oh, God. I mean, I was just so outraged and disgusted by the hateful things that Mr. O'Rourke said, especially about Trump. That was very hateful. And Mr. O'Rourke, it is that very hatred that fueled this shooting in the first place. Hatred like that. Okay, people hated Trump because they were hoping for Hillary. Which, hate, I wouldn't put hate as a word for this. Disappointed, yeah. Because the person you voted for didn't win. I voted for Al Gore when he didn't win. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. I forgot what I was saying. But, yeah, I forgot what I was saying. So,
there's no Xanax here. It never came. So, no traction.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's that. Okay. So, hey, now I remember what I was saying. Okay. When I voted for Al Gore, and when he didn't, man, the candidates I voted for that did not get into office, I was disappointed, but I never hated the one who was elected. I was never, ever, ever, I never, ever, ever hated the president-elect who I didn't vote for. Never hated him at all. Michael Dukakis, didn't hate him. Al Gore, I'm sorry. Okay, I got this confused. Okay. Walter Mondale, I voted for. I don't even remember who won that election. But I remember I voted for Walter Mondale. He didn't get in. I was disappointed. But I never hated the one who got in, who became president for that election year. Never, ever, ever hated him. Never. There's no hatred in my heart for anybody. And the hatred for this president, all because their candidate, Hillary Clinton, didn't win. Wow. I mean, you learn to hate. You're not born to hate. You learn to hate. And that's sad and that's tragic. That people can learn to hate. And that's the problem. That's really the problem, learning to hate. Where are they learning to hate? Who's teaching them to hate? You know, it's just so sad, so tragic that people are taught to hate. And hate the current president because their candidate didn't win. That, ugh, that is so tragic. So, when Walter Mondale didn't win, I didn't hate the president-elect. When Al Gore didn't become president, I didn't hate the president-elect. When Mitt Romney, I voted for Mitt Romney, and when Obama won for a second term, I didn't hate Obama. When Obama got into office, I said, well, I didn't vote for him. I just hope he's a good president. And that's really all you do, you know, as an American. Because there'll be winners and losers. That's another reason why I don't really like sports. And because, and if I do watch a sport, like let's say basketball, I don't root for a specific team. I'm rooting for a tight score. Okay? Now, I was very fond of the LA Lakers and Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq was the man. But even though I liked the LA Lakers, when they played, I always hoped for a very close and tight score. Because if you're rooting for a team, I've seen this happen. And it's also because of what I've seen happen after a sporting event is why I do not shoot for a particular team. That I shoot for a close game, a tight score. Okay? That the losing team's fans go out to the street and turn over cars and set fires and break into buildings and smash the city. I said, oh my God. And it was like, I was disgusted with that. You know, thank God I'm not competitive. Oh, gee. That'd be hard. That's a very difficult way to live. Being competitive. That's why when it came to summer camp, I was never interested in playing in the sports. I always sat on the sidelines. I'll have them play. You know, because I'm not competitive like that. I'm not. And if one team wins, the coach goes in there, good game, guys, great win. And on the losing team, the coach goes, what the hell's the matter with you? You look terrible out there. You idiots, you know. You lost the game. What were you doing? Blah, 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 blah. You're terrible players. You should have won. So that's the competitive edge. That's the competitive edge, which I did not like at all about sports. And politics, the same thing. Competition. You're competing. I don't watch the Olympics for the very same reason. Actually, I think the Olympics is boring. And I'm probably in the minority. You know, everybody, we watch the Winter Olympics, and we watch this Olympics. And, we love to watch the swimming competition, and this competition, and that competition. The only competition I like to watch is the spelling bee. And I don't, And all I watch for is I watch to learn some words. And to watch how brilliant these kids are in spelling very difficult words that, hell, I wouldn't know how to spell. Okay? So, competition. I hate competition. I loathe competition. I abhor it. That's why I never wanted to play sports and why I really don't watch sports. And if I do watch a basketball game, matter of fact, I get more excited when there's overtime. And I remember one time I was watching March Madness. I don't know if it was March Madness or the NBA. But the score at the end of the game was tied. They went into overtime. 5 more minutes. At the end of that overtime, the score was tied again. I was like, yeah, this is my kind of game. This is my kind of game that I want to watch. Yay, we're in the overtime. That's wonderful. And then at the end of that overtime, the score was tied again, so it went into double overtime. I said, oh my God, can this get any better? I love it. And then when it went to third overtime, that at the end of the second overtime, the score was still tied. Oh my God. I said, triple overtime. Oh my God, that's wonderful. And it was at the end of the triple overtime that there was a winner. And I said, man, I love both teams. I embrace both teams. Both teams were fantastic. So one lost to the other. No big deal. No big deal. And that's what we should have in politics. But according to the last election, people hate Trump because that he won and their candidate lost. And that's only the reason why they hate him. They loved President Trump until he won the election. Then they hated him. But to falsely accuse the president for making that kind of a statement after Charlottesville, I mean, you must have been looking at Charlottesville on your parallel earth where the Twin Towers are standing, Mr. O'Rourke. Come back to Earth Prime when you're ready to join us. But I'm glad President Trump said what he said just now. That hate, which he has said often, like after the Pittsburgh synagogue shooting, hate has no place in our country. He has said that time and time again. Hate has no place in our country. And he's right. He's right. But yet there are people in this country who hate. And it's mostly on the Democrat side. They hate Trump. They hate police officers and law enforcement. They hate Border Patrol. They hate conservatives. They hate Republicans. They hate Mother's Day. They hate Father's Day. They hate Christmas. They hate 4th of July. They hate our flag. They're the ones doing all the hating. We don't do any hating. About maybe 5% of conservatives and Republicans on the right-hand side, the right side of things. Only 5% are the extremists, just like, well, their side's getting a little big, and I just saw this news report where this one SJW got offended because the speaker was using regular pronouns that people have been using for centuries. It's like, so for centuries and millennia, people have used he and she, men and women, for centuries. And now it's a problem? It's like, oh my God, you people need a life. If you're going to be offended by he, she, him and her, It's like, hey, if you don't like it, leave. If you don't like what you're hearing, leave. Nobody's holding a gun to your head to stay there. If you're offended by that person's speech and his gender pronouns, then leave. Why bother staying? But don't stand up, interrupt matters, and criticize them for using for using pronouns. Come on, are you serious? It's like, I think these people are sick. These people are sick and need treatment. And then there was somebody else who said, "Oh, I have sensory overload. Oh, I'm triggered and triggered." You need help, sir. Sensory overload? Holy crap! Are you a computer that you got an overload? Maybe we should delete some of your programming, sir. Then maybe you won't have. You might as well say input overload. Makes me think of the Logan's Run movie. Input contrary to established facts. That does not compute. Same thing. Sensory overload. Data overload. That's a computer term. Overload. Sensory overload? Are you serious? These people are sick. And like I said, and when I was in college, and I think if you want to go back, let's go back to, what was it, Berkeley? And there was a conservative about to speak, and they did this huge protest and threatened violence if he stepped foot on their campus, on their precious little campus. Hey, if you don't want to watch him speak, if you don't want to hear him, then don't attend. Wow, what a concept. You don't have to attend. Don't enter the building. There's a whole campus of places you can go. If you don't want to hear a conservative speak, don't go. But to hold a protest and threaten violence if he steps foot on your precious little campus, I said, oh man. When I knew kids were getting worse after the high school, and I said, how worse can they get? They have gotten so worse, they're now psychologically insane, just totally demented. If there's somebody attending University of Bridgeport, they put up all the banners of all the people who are going to attend or who's going to visit. And it's like, nah, I wouldn't be interested to listen to that. I'd go someplace else. I would never threaten violence and say, don't ever step foot on our precious little campus. I would never do that. So, anyway, getting off on a tangent here, which I did not intend to do. But I think I was basically making a point. So, I really feel for the victims of that tragic shooting. And as far as, I believe it was the Paso shooting, he was planning this long before Trump ever came into office. Was even running, I think. He was thinking about this for years. These mass shootings are meticulously thought out, and he had a manifesto. So, they're just out of touch with humanity, basically. And it's got nothing to do with Trump. Nothing to do with Trump. And the other one, oh yeah, that's another one. Hatred of gays and lesbians. like what happened at Florida. And I still remember the New York Daily News' headline for, I think, a shooting out in California. And the headline screamed, "God isn't going to fix this," or something like that. Yeah, people could fix it. People could fix it by stop with hate and lies. Matter of fact, about 90 to 95% of all hate-related violence has lies at its core. Because truth is love. Truth is love. And if you hate, you have to hate because of a lie you're told. Because hate is only generated through lies. So, because if someone is telling the truth, then those could be dealt with, and many people can deal with it. But lies fuel the hate, which in turn leads to violence. So you want to get rid of the violence, get rid of the hate, get rid of the lies. Stop with the lies. Stop with the lies. Be truthful. Be accurate. Like, I'm always truthful and accurate. And if I happen to be wrong, I will admit that I'm wrong. I would say, I was wrong. I stand corrected. Okay, I got it wrong. Okay, tell me, and have the proof, So anyway, and gun-free zones. Yeah, school is a gun-free zone. That is until a gun shows up there. I have New Rochelle High School as a reference. When Mr. Cohen told me in 1986, 87, that they've been sneaking guns into the school. I said, oh wow. I knew people were getting worse, and I said, how much more worse can they get? I got my answer. And about almost 12 years later, Columbine happens. I said, oh my God, how much worse can that get? And now we got it. So we're getting progressively more and more bad. And it's up to all of us to teach love and respect. Love one another, respect one another. And don't bear false witness against thy neighbor like Robert Francis O'Rourke did against President Trump. He transgressed one of the 10 Commandments that said, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor, and that is the transgression that Robert Francis O'Rourke did by his misquote of President Trump at Charlottesville. He bore false witness against his neighbor, Donald Trump. That was false. That was a false allegation. President Trump did not say that. That was false. That was fueled with hate. So if we stop with the lies, we could stop with the hate and stop the violence. And of course, Columbine was a result of a video game. A game is supposed to be fun. It's not intended to be violent. A game is a game. Whether it's a board game, card game, even a video game. When I started with video games in 1979, 1980, they were games. They were fun. They were enjoyable. Now, video game is video violence. Hardly anything's a game anymore. All it is single-person shooting. So they're all factors. disassociation with people, with each other. And when you isolate yourself, now I know very much about isolation, but I approached it like the rest of the world is going about on its own. And I have no cause to judge whether I'm right and they're wrong. It's not my business. It's not my place. And for that person to stand up and interrupt a speaker saying, "Oh, I'm triggered by sensational overload," or sensation overload, or whatever the hell it is. On the computer and there's an overload. Or don't use gender pronouns. How about articles? Are we allowed to use them? Like the and at and for? Pretty soon they're going to go after that. If they can start with gender pronouns, and then they'll go against articles, and then verbs. And they don't have to stop at verbs. They can start attacking adverbs, and they'll start attacking helping verbs and adjectives. Actually, I think they have started attacking some adjectives. So adjectives, nouns, adverbs, articles, subject, predicate, they'll all be under attack. All it has to do is start with pronouns, gender pronouns, and then we'll go after other pronouns. And then we'll go after nouns and adjectives and verbs and adverbs and conjugate verbs. Predicate, subject, object. They'll all get attacked soon. You wait and see. If this is allowed to go on by attacking gender pronouns, they'll start attacking nouns and adjectives and adverbs and subject and predicate. It's sick. These people are sick. These people need help. It's like, oh my God. God. I guess because, I don't know. I mean, I'm a student of psychology and sociology. But when it comes to this, for the first time in my life, as being a student of psychology and sociology, the psychology behind attacking gender pronouns, I am, for the first time in my life, I'm at a loss to explain it. I mean, this goes far beyond the scope of any kind of conventional psychology or sociology studies. It's like, it is so radical. It just, it makes no sense. Whatever the philosophy is behind this, I mean, they say it's because of transgender people. And because of a small minority of civilians of the population. They're now saying that if you are a man or a woman and you claim a gender you were assigned at birth by the doctor. Oh my God. When I heard that, oh my God, I was like, okay, they really lost it over there. That the doctor assigned your gender that you were born with whatever you were born with, that the doctor assigned it. Okay, these people need to be institutionalized. That is so radical. It's like, where do they come from? Anyway, I'm sorry for going on a tangent like that. But anyway, my heart goes out to those victims. So, anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And I hope that the next video I do is a more fun one. That I don't have to deal with all this political correction or political correct stuff. So politically correct. Brother. Ladies and gentlemen is not exclusive enough. You're putting ladies and gentlemen, you're saying them both. What? Because, and ladies come first. How about that? Ladies come first. Hey, that's something I grew up with. So all you feminists, feminism 2.0, okay, we say ladies and gentlemen. So what's wrong with patriarchy? The father, the stronghold of the family, where the daughter idolizes him and the son wants to grow up like him. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with Father's Day, Mother's Day. Some families have two daddies. Some people have two mommies. So what? Big damn deal. Everybody has a right to their environment. And for you to infringe your will on others, that is not right. That the whole world has to adjust to you. That's not the way the world works. The whole world does not have to adjust to you. You become part of society. That's the way it works. So, anyhow, I think I'll stop here and before I keep going off on tangents. Okay, so all you people, all you folks in those communities where the shootings took place, my heart and my sympathies goes out to you guys. And there's nothing wrong with saying guys. Good Lord. Picky. God. There's so many more things to be worried about. And this whole climate stuff, so that kids now live with anxiety about the ecology of our planet. Come on, let kids be kids. Why are you pushing this? This is child abuse is what that is. This is child abuse to inflict this kind of panic. Hey, you want to know real panic? I invite you to be a part of the Cuban Missile Crisis during the year I was born, 1962. Okay, you want to talk about panic? Then you don't know panic like my mother does when she was pregnant with me. My mother was afraid that she would give birth to me in a fallout shelter because she was afraid that the Cuban Missile Crisis was going to create an incomprehensible situation for the world. Okay, you want to talk about panic? You want to talk about society? You want to talk about the world is going to come to an end in 12 years, like Al Gore said years ago, and it didn't happen? You know, what happened in 2012? The Mayans. Okay, Y2K. I went through that panic too. I went through the YK2 panic, went through the 2012 panic, and what happened? Zero, nada, nothing. Nothing happened. The Y2K panic, everything was fine on January 1st, 2000. The 2012, December, what was it, December 21st or something, 2012. And I said, I hope we'll still be here on the following day. And we were. Went through the whole day. A nothing burger. Nothing. So I went through Y2K, went through 2012, and we're still here. We're still here. And we're still functioning. So now we got global warming, climate change, like Al Gore did. Chain letters. Hey, you might as well throw chain letters in there too. Oh my God, if you don't forward this chain letter, you are gonna die. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I gotta send this chain letter out. It's all the same. Chain letters, Y2K, 2012, and now global warming. Anything to get kids scared. Great job, folks. Great job. Yeah, that's not child abuse. Nah. Not in the least. Anyway. So in 2030, we'll still be here in 2031. As a matter of fact, I predict that in 2031, AOC will run for president. Oh yeah. And I probably won't be here to see it happen. Or not happen. You know. But anyhow, again, I'm still going off on tangents, and I don't mean to. I just want to get all my thoughts out, venting all this out after what I've experienced over the weekend with the two shootings. Can't have, or even the shootings in the synagogue shootings in Pittsburgh, and hate is hate. Hate is hate. Hate the Jews, hate Trump, hate gays, hate conservatives, hate Christmas, hate the police, hate border control. Oh yeah. Hey, lots of hate to go around. Is it any wonder why we're going through what we're going through? Because they hate Trump, they hate Republicans, they hate the cops, they hate conservatives, they hate the Border Patrol, they hate Father's Day, they hate Mother's Day, they hate the 4th of July, they hate the flag, they hate so much. Those on the left. And I've said, and I will end on this note, when you have hate in your heart, there is no room for God. There'll be no room for God. And that's sad and tragic. Yeah. Take care, guys, and I'll I'll see you soon. And like I said before, about 15 minutes ago, I hope that the next video I shoot, the next video I do, will be on more happier terms. So, take care. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you later. Okay, thanks for watching. Okay, take care. And love one another, please. We badly need it. Okay, take care. Bye.